Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Beluga Whale, and welcome back to Why Did I Lose? Now, I know it's been a while since we had a Why Did I Lose episode, and I won't go into detail for this video, but I did talk a lot about it in my recent channel update. So I'll leave a link to that on the screen right now. And if you haven't seen that video, I recommend you go watch it. Anyways, today we're going to be playing Lee Sin, and you might want to pause because I'm going to show the runes and masteries very quickly. So here are the runes, and here are the masteries. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so here we are loading into the game. And as usual, when you're loading into a game, you want to take a look at your team, and take a look at the enemy team, and then see what you can try to plan out your early game. So right off the bat, the enemy team has a Pantheon jungle, and I don't know if I've said this before in the Lee Sin video, but Pantheon is the one and only, well, not the only, but he's probably the hardest counter to Lee Sin that actually exists. The reason being is that Lee Sin kind of strives on being able to win fights early because of his kit, but Lee Sin can't beat Pantheon in a fight ever. It just doesn't happen. Pantheon always beats Lee Sin in a 1v1. So knowing that, what I should be doing this game is trying to avoid Pantheon. And then as far as lanes to gank, let's go ahead and put these in the right order. Like this. Okay. So the enemy team has a Riven top, and Riven, she does have a lot of dashes, but she's not that hard to gank. If she pushes up, she's pretty easy to gank. And me and Nasus both only have slows until I hit 6, so that's not very good either. Basically, the only time I can gank Riven is if she pushes up to Nasus' turret. Otherwise, she's just going to be able to get away. Unless if I'm level 6 and I kick her back. That's totally different though. And then mid lane, they have LeBlanc. I hate ganking LeBlancs. I just hate doing it because they have 2 escapes already on their kit. Hold on, let me turn off chat. Sorry, I forgot. And we're on red team. Okay, so LeBlanc has 2 flashes on her kit already with her W and her ult, and then she took flash, so really it's 3 flashes. It's like Ahri. I don't really like to mess around with them if I can help it, so not really looking for ganking mid. And then bot lane, they have a Vayne. Vayne's usual way to avoid ganks is to go stealth, but obviously that doesn't really work against Lee Sin. And then she has a Lulu who's pretty good at peeling, but she's not as good as Janna. So I kind of rank her as the same as Nami. Okay at peeling, but still gankable. And our bot lane also has a Thresh. If Thresh hits any CC on them, it's a really easy gank. So basically, long story short, I can gank top if Riven pushes. I don't want to gank mid ever just because it's pretty much going to be a waste of my time. And then try to focus bot a lot. Now, as for skills on Lee Sin, just like in the old video, you do get your Q at level 1, W at level 2, and your E at level 3. And then I still max Q first and W second. Honestly, that's preference. If you want to max your E second, you can. With the new jungle item, you're not going to have sustained problems at all, no matter what you max. But I prefer to have a large shield to help an ally than I do a little more damage on my E. I honestly think the utility of my W outweighs the damage on my E, so I max my W. But if you want to max your E, you can. Nothing's stopping you. It's just I prefer not to. But here we have one of those cases where Riven is extremely pushed up, and she reacts really slowly to me ganking. So what I do here, I ward the bush just because I don't want Riven to juke us out of the bush. She's going to try to walk past me, and notice how I'm not going to use my Q early at all. The reason for that, 1, your Q is an execute, so you can save it to the end, and then it's going to do the most damage. And 2, don't shoot your Q if you might miss it. You know, I'm not going to miss my Q here because of how I play it. So I auto attack her, and I E, and I activate the second part of my E. All that's going to slow her, and then as soon as she starts to come out of the bush, I ward hop to her to get more autos with my red buff. I hit a Q on here, however, Pantheon comes in and flashes to stop us, so Riven's gonna live. But overall, that was a really good gank. Pantheon flashed, and Riven flashed, and me and Nasus didn't use either of our flashes, so very good gank for us. Since Riven did flash, I should look to return top really soon to go ahead and abuse her flash. But as you guys probably know, Nasus, you don't really gank for that often. It's better to just let Nasus farm. But if I can get a kill on Riven, that's going to help me too. And then another thing to note, bot lane is kind of ahead right now. The reason being is that even though both bot lanes have 1 kill, Lulu got the kill bottom for the enemy team, and our Twitch got the kill. So our bot lane's kind of ahead. And like I said, I do want to focus bot, so I should be trying to make my way bot too. Here, no, I'm just jungling. Just talking about for your items. As far as item builds go, I do get green smite and I keep my yellow trinket. So there's 2 ways that you could build these in my opinion. You can go green smite and keep your yellow trinket, and then you're going to have access to 4 wards, and that's going to be plenty enough to ward hop wherever you need to and everything like that. However, another way to play it is if you want a red trinket, which is very good on a jungler, you can get red or blue smite. It really doesn't matter. I think blue smite's better, but you can get red smite if you want. And then you build a sight stone, and then you get a red trinket. Because I don't think that keeping yellow trinket 2 wards, I don't think that's enough for Lee Sin. You can of course buy pink wards to ward hop too, but you're not going to be necessarily really weak if you go red or blue smite and get a sight stone. However, I just think green smite, yellow trinket is the most powerful way to go, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to be building. And right now, I am roaming back top just because my Krugs are the only thing open. However, the enemy bot lane's pushing, and they've been pushing, so really I should go bot pretty soon. And I see Nasus backing, so what I'm going to do here probably is do my Krugs, and then just work on farming. However, as the more you farm early game on Lee Sin, the more you're actually wasting Lee Sin's potential. Because like I've said before, Lee Sin is the king of early game. You'll pretty much win any trade early game as long as you play it correctly. So you really need to pressure your early game. But I'm sitting here farming a little too much, and I do that for a lot of the game. I farm too much instead of grouping with my team. So you'll see me reference that later. Here, my Fizz was asking for help, and I don't want him to die to LeBlanc, so I'm going to try to gank her here. However, she uses her 1W, and then she slows me. I don't want to get snared, so I'm going to walk out of that, and then I'm going to see where she goes. She wards this bush. I have a Raptor buff, so I'm going to go ahead and clear that, and I'm going to have to leave. However, my Fizz, he messes up because he uses his E to farm the wave when it's not his turret, and then all that means is LeBlanc's going to be able to kill him. So, what I did wrong there, I guess I could have stuck around, but LeBlanc still had her flash, and she only used her W to escape, and it was going to be up pretty soon. This is what I'm talking about. I don't like ganking LeBlanc, because I went mid, I didn't get anything for it, and then Fizz died because he thought I was still nearby, and obviously I wasn't. Now, my bot lane wants to gank this Pantheon, because we just saw him. They're roaming up. I don't think we're going to get the Pantheon, and then I checked to make sure Pantheon's not around, and we're going to do the dragon. I could solo the dragon at this point, and I think I told my team that, but they want to stay and help me. That's fine. Nothing I can do about that, right? But we are going to get the dragon here. And the thing about dragon is, first one's not that important until about mid-game. But the main thing to focus on dragon is 5 dragon, as you guys know, is pretty much a win condition. If you get to 5 dragons, you'll win the game. Another thing about dragon is, if you are denying the enemy any dragons, so if the enemy has no dragons, all of your dragons go way up in gold value. And the reason for that is because the first dragon is the damage increaser, or damage modifier. And early game's not that big a deal, so like as soon as we got it, I might have put my AD up 1 or 2, not really that big a deal. But around mid game is where it starts to make a big difference because it's 6% increase to AD and ability power. So early game it's not going to be that big a deal, but then mid game is where it really starts to matter, and late game it makes a huge difference. So that's why I'm saying about the time the 3rd dragon would spawn, if you're completely shutting out the enemy, it's worth to get every single dragon from there on out because they're not getting the damage boost, so therefore the dragon's worth more to you. It's almost like you're debuffing them by getting the dragons. So this dragon's not going to be that important, but this game we do have complete dragon control. I'll go ahead and say that as a spoiler. So really should keep focusing on getting the dragons. Here my Fizz ganks. Is Fizz down here? Yeah. Fizz ganks bot, and the enemy bot lane's way pushed up, so this is going to be a pretty easy kill. I kicked the Vayne because 1, I thought it was going to kill her. It doesn't. And then 2, Fizz is going to be able to kill her with his poison. No big deal. And then I'm going to go on to Lulu here. The Lulu actually flashes and ignites me, so I'm going to have to run away. I shield myself, and with the spell vamp, I smite the minion, and then I get 1 more auto off, and all that together is going to save me from the ignite, thank God. And then that actually turned out to be a very good gank for our team. We got Vayne's heal, we got Lulu's flash, we got Lulu's ignite, and we killed both of them. So overall, that's really good. Pretty much caught our team up, and we're doing pretty well. Ideally, we could have pushed the turret there because we did kill everyone, but I had no health, Fizz had no health, and LeBlanc was on the way, so we just kind of have to leave that. But one thing I didn't do this game, and we'll see a lot more later, is I didn't push down enough turrets. In the quick meta that the game's in right now, it is very important that you get turrets pretty much every chance that you can, because if you're not, then you're just putting your team behind in gold. My Fizz got ganked by Pantheon, but he's going to be able to kill the LeBlanc in return, so it's really not that bad. And here, I guess Fizz teleported top. Nasus gets ganked, and while I don't really want to be spending time top, this was a pretty easy counter gank for me and Fizz. LeBlanc hits her E on me, and I don't want to be snared by that, so I'm going to walk away. And here I missed my Q. As soon as I missed my Q, this fight was over. However, me and Fizz stay a little bit too long. LeBlanc's going to get some return damage, and we really just need to be leaving. Pretty much. That's all we have to do is just leave. So we end up leaving. For some reason, my Fizz tried to recall in the same bush, and then because of that, he's going to die to Lulu actually roamed up and killed him. But I managed to get out, so at least I didn't die as well, so it's not all bad. Now here we had a pink ward top. However, I did just run over ward if you noticed. So Riven really should know that I'm here, and as you can see, she's running away. But once again, it was Riven being so pushed up that makes it able for me to gank her, and we are going to kill her here. But on the flip side of that, my bot turret has already been pushed down, and my Twitch was actually kind of ahead. So what I should really be doing is going bot as much as possible and just snowballing Twitch. Like I said, it's not really that important that you gank for Nasus. You can gank, it does give me more money, but Nasus doesn't carry through kills, he carries through farm. And then here, my LeBlanc. The LeBlanc kills my team. I think Fizz and Thresh were just out of place. But anyways, as you can see, Pantheon ganked bot, and that's another thing to note. When you're versus a Pantheon, you should expect him to gank bot, because it's really easy for Pantheon to gank bot compared to other junglers, so they usually do focus ganks bot. So me knowing that as a jungler, I could have been bot more. Once again, I'm probably going to say this a few more times even, I should have just been bot this game. Me pressuring top was not bad, but the fact that the enemy team had so much pressure bot meant that I should have been there too. Now here, I'm coming bot to gank because these guys are pushing, but I run into LeBlanc in the jungle, and we can watch this again. It's just the combo. LeBlanc's squishy enough, and I actually went, we'll talk about my build actually after this, but I have armor pin, so it's going to be pretty easy to kill LeBlanc. She doesn't see me at first, so I'm going to hit an easy Q on her, and then I'm just going to auto, ult, use my Q, and then E, and she's dead. Now, as for my build, and I'm not going to, well, we'll talk about this after the build. So I went for Shrouded Dirk, and this is going to go into Maul Malmortius. And as for builds on Lee Sin, the best build is still the build I showed in Season 5 Lee Sin guide. It's to go your jungle item, and then Black Cleaver, and then Dead Man's Plate, and Banshee's Veil. Those should pretty much be your core on your Lee Sin games. However, you can also go for a very high armor pin build, like I did with in the Wukong video, because one, armor pin is so good right now, and two, Lee Sin has really high AD ratios, so if you get a lot of armor pin, you're going to do a lot of damage. But the thing about that is, if you do that, you're not going to be able to play Lee Sin in the best way to play him, and the best way to play him is to initiate fights by insecting someone or something like that, and if you build armor pin, you're not going to be able to do that. You're only going to be able to finish people off. So, and another thing, if you build like this, you have to actually be fighting a lot early game, and as we're going to see, I farm a lot more than I fight this game. Right now the enemy's trying to kill me. Pantheon's going to stun me, so I go ahead and Q to him before his stun lands, and then I'm just going to run away. Riven came in, she didn't teleport in, she just happened to be here, so we're just going to have to run away from her. And then Nasus comes in, and Nasus is actually really strong right now, as we're going to see. Twitch comes in and ults, so they're going to pretty much be winning this fight. So I come back around to at least shield the Nasus from Pantheon killing him, and then this is one of those cases where if I hadn't maxed my W, if I had maxed my E, even though it's only one more rank, you know that Pantheon crits, well, it's 2 more ranks, but you know Pantheon crits when the enemies are low health. So he was going to be critting Nasus on all of his hits, and if Nasus hadn't had this shield, he probably would have died to either Pantheon or Lulu right afterwards. So that's one of those cases where I think the W is a lot better, but some people would argue that the E is better. Over here, now it's just easy. We're going to clean up the Lulu. I do give it to Twitch, not necessarily on purpose, but I do want to be giving Twitch all the kills I can this game because he's going to be our carry. The thing about Lee Sin is he can carry games, but not in the sense that most people think carry means. So the way that Lee Sin carries is he gets an early game lead, which I do have. I have a very good early game lead, and then you translate it over usually to your AD carry or your mid laner. But as we're going to see this game, what I end up doing is just focusing on Farming. I farmed way too much in this game. Basically, our win condition right now is either 5 dragons, but that's a really long ways off, and games don't usually last that long, or we make sure Twitch is fed enough. As you can see, Fizz was actually 5-5. He might have even been 5-4 earlier. He dies a lot more. Spoiler alert. He was just having a really bad game. I didn't harass him or anything, but I'm pretty sure he ended up muting all of us because he was just having a really bad game. And when you're having a really bad game, it is good to mute your team. However, the problem with muting your team is that sometimes you don't hear really important things, and as we'll see later, that actually kind of screwed us up late game. But anyways, as for me, right now I'm still farming. There's no reason that I should be farming right now. I should have been with Twitch mid. And then here, Fizz teleports in, and since it's a... I could have went to help Fizz too. That would have been fine. But he's going to chase the LeBlanc, and he's going to die. And then as you can see, they pinged me because they were upset. I should have been there for either one of them, but also knowing that I wasn't going there, Fizz could have escaped. Even after he teleported in, Fizz could have escaped. But he kept chasing the wrong LeBlanc. Not that he could have known which one was right, but he chased the wrong one too far, and he's gonna die for it. And now I killed the red. And it's not to say that my jungling was bad. I mean, I jungled pretty efficiently. All that was fine. But the thing is, I just need to be with my team in order to keep them alive, just because they keep dying. Because what my team did this game was they kept fighting like it was even fights when it wasn't. Like right now, they're fighting a 3v3, but since we're already so behind, really, they're fighting kind of like a 3v4, and they need 4 teammates there. So knowing how my team was playing, I should have just grouped more often, but like I said, that was just a mistake. I was farming really efficiently, but it's not how you carry on Lee Sin. You don't farm for the late game. You get an early game lead, and then you translate it over to team fights. Here, I see the LeBlanc, and I don't want her to get near my Twitch, so I go ahead and confront her first. She is going to get away from me with very low health, and then here the enemy team comes up to stop me from doing wolves. I smite the wolves for sight. And I will actually talk about this. I smite wolves for sight because that's what you do when you're losing. You're supposed to smite wolves. When you're ahead, it's good to smite raptors and Gromp on Lee. And when you're behind, just smite wolves and raptors. But as for this, Vayne comes up to me. I should have ward hopped over this wall right now, but I didn't do that. I saved it. Vayne's going to get a crit static shiv hit on me. I'm going to get slowed by the Lulu ghosty thing. And then here, Vayne's E started. I don't know if you... Well, no, of course you didn't hear it because you don't hear anything. But anyways, Vayne's Eing right now. So knowing that, I'm going to try to ward hop to here. And what that's going to do is either one, I get stunned right here, and then I have enough distance between me and Vayne to where I'm not in that big of danger. Or two, I actually get pushed beyond it, and then I'm not even stunned, and I get away for free. But I did it just a little bit too slowly, and what ends up happening is Vayne stuns me against the turret when I'm going through the turret. That's not a glitch, that's just how it happened. And then Pantheon's going to flash over and stun me, and I'm going to die. If Pantheon hadn't flashed, Vayne would have died, and if I had just been a little bit quicker with my ward hop, I would have lived too. But, I just wasn't that fast. I did it as quickly as I could, but I don't play on 0 ping, and I also am not a machine. I can't react that quickly. So, that's bad to jungling. As far as my build goes, I did go Maw, like I said. What I need to get now is definitely some armor because they have Riven, Pantheon, and Vayne, and even though Pantheon and Vayne are the only ones doing well, Riven still does physical damage. You know, no matter how weak she is, her spells still do physical damage. So I need to be getting some armor. I also have 2 magic resist items already, even though you might not really count Merc Treads as one. I already have that, so Deadman's Plate's probably coming up next. And then here, my team dies again. They're just, once again, pressuring without me there. And I'm not trying to blame this on my team because it takes 2 to tango, right? You can either look at it like my team's always overextended and they're dying, or our jungler is never grouping, so they never get fair fights. You know, either of us could be blamed, and since this is why did I lose, I'm going to blame myself for not grouping enough with my teammates. As you guys know, Lee Sin's one of the best bodyguards in the game because his W, if you max it, it's a huge shield for an ally, and your ult, you can get away any threats from your team, so it is really good to group and just keep your carries alive. But once again, I know I've already said this like twice, but I just focused on farming this game, and that was, even though I farmed really well, that's not what you do on Lee Sin. You're not supposed to spend all your time farming. So they take our turret mid, and then now at this point we're pretty far behind the enemies. We can only fight a 5v5, and the only reason we can do that is because since they have so many AD champions, and because LeBlanc's going to try to kill Twitch, if Nasus comes, we have a really strong front line, and we'll be able to do a decent fight. So all we can do now is try to group as 5. Here, our Fizz dies again. I don't know what he was doing, but like I said, Fizz just had a really bad game. We're not going to try to blame him for this game. Here, Nasus comes in, and Thresh hits a pretty good hook, so we get LeBlanc low. I'm just hanging out with Twitch in the back because I don't want him to die. Once Pantheon gets close to Twitch, I kick Pantheon away so Twitch doesn't get stunned. And then I try to go on the Vayne. I missed my Q on the Vayne. And here, Pantheon jumps in the back. Twitch is going to die. I didn't hit a Q on Vayne. If I'd hit a Q on Vayne, Vayne would have died here, but I just missed twice. And we're going to kind of lose that fight. Main reason we lost that fight was, yeah, it was a 4v5 because Fizz wasn't there. And then 2, I only kicked one person. If I had hit a multi-man ult, we definitely would have easily won this fight. And then once the enemies are retreating, Thresh actually hits a really good hook, and we're going to get a few kills out of it. He hits 2 good hooks. Here, I take the Lulu kill. I shouldn't have done that. I just took it to go ahead and get her killed. I didn't take it out of spite or anything. But the reason I shouldn't have done it is 1, Fizz is super behind already. And 2, the way he's tilting this game, you don't kill steal people like that. If you get the kills, it's okay, but they're going to see it as you're taking it just to spite them, and that's just going to make them play worse. So if you can give them the kills, you should. And that's what I should have done in that scenario. But now, as you can see, we do have 3 dragons, so we're actually nearing well, we are at the point where, since the enemy team doesn't have the first dragon, we actually just have a boost, or we have an advantage just from that in team fights. Also, only 2 more dragons, and we'll get to 5 dragons, and we'll win from that. So basically, our win condition this game is keep securing the dragons, and play safely and not get caught. What I need to be doing is hanging out with Twitch most of the time. Normally, you could peel for your mid laner or your AD carry, but in this scenario, when my mid laner is tilting this bed, I'm going to be peeling for the AD carry for sure. So now I'm going meta farming, and this time it's actually okay to farm because not really anything's happening. What our team needs to do is make sure we have sight on Baron. We could do the Baron right now because we see Vayne bottom, and since our whole team is mid, it's going to be pretty easy. But other than that, if there's any chance that the enemy has more people than we do, we shouldn't even think about Baron. Now, LeBlanc tries to catch me at Krugs. I give the red to Twitch, and then I go to my Krugs. LeBlanc is in this bush, and I didn't ward it. Not saying I necessarily should have, because you're not going to know. It's not like this was a mistake. But anyways, LeBlanc's in this bush. She's going to try to burst me down. All I'm going to do is kick her over the wall, and I do actually flash here. I didn't have to flash because 1, I still had my Maw passive, which obviously saves you from magic damage. And 2, Nasus was right here. I had my W up. I could just jump to Nasus, but I kind of panic flashed, and that was a mistake on my part. Now I'm not going to have an easy insec or just an escape later. And then here, I don't know why there are so many pings going on. You guys can't hear them though, thank God. But there are tons of pings going down. We're hanging out. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's see. My Nasus is just solo pushing. He could have probably 1v2'd pretty much anyone, but the fact that they already have 3 up there, 4 or 5, Nasus is gonna die. And then with Nasus dead, all we can do is try to slow down the enemies. We don't want them to get an inhib. If they go for Baron, then we need to contest the Baron. And we don't really need to fight. However, my Thresh gets a little bit too close. They're going to try to go onto him. He's going to get away. And then me and Fizz are hanging out in the back trying to catch the Vayne. Fizz gets caught. I don't ult for Fizz because I wasn't going to be able to hit a 2-man ult. And if I didn't hit a 2-man ult, he was dead either way. So I ult when the Pantheon jumps onto me. And then I'm going to dash to a minion, and I'm going to be fine. Now, the game's looking pretty rough. I don't even have to say that. You guys can tell. This game's looking pretty bad. Pantheon's trying to recall. I have a ward to jump to already. I didn't even place this. This was already here. So I'm just going to mess with Pantheon and make sure he doesn't get a free recall. And now our team's here, and all we're doing is making sure the enemy team doesn't Baron. But then we see Vayne actually went bottom. So it's actually pretty easy Baron for our team. So our whole team needs to get over here and do the Baron. However, Thresh goes to ward That's okay, but if he had been over here, things would have gotten a lot better. But Thresh goes to ward. He gets caught because of it. He's going to die. Twitch tries to help him. We didn't even get almost any damage on the dragon. I'm going to run away from the Baron and hang out with Twitch in the back just because I don't want Pantheon or Riven to assassinate him. And here I don't even know why I think I was just ready to leave because the Vayne that's what it was. Since Vayne was pushing, I was going to try to leave. However, my Nasus goes deep and my Fizz goes deep. So I'm going to stay here to fight them because, once again, I've said this before in my videos, but it's better for 5 people to do the wrong thing than it is for 1 person to do the correct thing. So even though I knew that our team should have gone back, that was probably the correct thing to do, I still need to stay with my team because if they somehow died when I went back, then we would have lost the game instantly. And then here, these two are chasing me, I guess, to make sure I don't back to Vayne, but I still have my ult and I'm pretty much full life, so they're just gonna die. Here, I didn't have to chase the Lulu. I kind of wasted some time, but it's not a big deal. I am gonna kill her. And now it is just back to jungling, I guess. Not much to do there. I do finally get my dead man's plate. And I don't know if I build anything else. Let's see how much gold I had. This build is okay. Okay, I still have 14,000. So what I should be doing is probably getting a Giant's Belt and a big potion, but we'll see what I get. I got a cowl. And I didn't have enough money for a big potion, so that's fine too. I didn't really have to go with Cal this game though. I could have just got more armor just because LeBlanc hasn't really been focusing me. She needs to focus Twitch, so armor would have probably been better in this scenario, but Banshee's Veil is going to help me a lot too, and that's definitely what I'm building. Even though they're all AD, almost, Banshee's Veil is going to be a big boon for me as well. Now here they're pushing mid, but we actually win the team fight pretty easily because they don't have the first dragon. So all we have to do is get we need them to waste cooldowns on Nasus. Or Twitch actually got a good ult and he got 3 people down to half health. So this fight's going pretty easily. I know that they're going to kill Pantheon in the back, so I go ahead and try to flank and get the Vayne, but I'm not going to be able to hit her, and then the enemies are going to run away. Now, here's the moment where the game ends. 2 people could be blamed for this, and since this video is about me, we won't blame Fizz, we'll blame me. Just like I said earlier, it's better for 5 people to do the wrong thing than for 3 people to do the right thing and 2 people to do the wrong thing or anything like that. It's always better to stay with your team. Here, what our team needs to do to win this game, if we get this dragon, then we have 4 dragons. And what 4 dragons means is 1, the enemy team has to contest every dragon from there on out, or else they're going to lose because we have 5 dragons. 2, with 4 dragons, Baron becomes very easy to kill. So once we get the 4th dragon, you know, 4th dragon increases damage to monsters, Baron's a monster, we can go kill Baron whenever we get a free chance. And then 3, once I get this dragon, they'll still not have the damage boost, and we're going to win team fights pretty easily. So, I'm going to the dragon because I'm a jungler and I know how important this dragon is. But, my whole team stays mid, and Fizz actually walks into this push, but we don't need to worry about the Baron. And I told my team that, but like I said, Fizz already muted everyone on our team, so Fizz doesn't hear me. Basically, what I did wrong here was go group away from the dragon, or group away from my team to go down to dragon. Fizz face checks this bush, Vayne's waiting there, Fizz instantly dies, and since I'm way over here, I'm not going to be here to save my Twitch. Now we'll watch what Twitch does. Well, we can watch the Fizz too. He literally just walks around the corner, and then he's almost instantly dead. And then here, Twitch makes the mistake of running up, because I don't know why he ran up. LeBlanc's actually around here, but we don't know that yet. Twitch ran up, and because of that, even though he immediately turns around, Vayne's going to get 1 auto off on him. It crits, and it's static shiv, so it does a huge chunk of his life. Then Riven gets the ult on him, that does another chunk, and then at this point he's dead to LeBlanc. Even though Thresh hits a good exhaust, he didn't exhaust the damage that mattered. Now, then my Nasus is going to die. He almost got them. Once again, if I had been there, my whole team wouldn't have died, and it would have been a lot better. Or, if my whole team had followed me, they obviously wouldn't have died. That would have been a lot better. Or, if Fizz hadn't have face checked, he wouldn't have died, and we would have been fine. So, a lot of things went wrong, but what I could have fixed was just grouping with my team. Me splitting, me going to Dragon, while that might have been the best way to win, since my whole team wasn't doing it, I shouldn't have been doing it alone. And here, okay, we'll talk about what's happening here. So Lulu's gonna stop my back. No matter what I do, Lulu's gonna stop my back. She can't kill me, and I can kill her, but I can't get away from her to recall. So what I'm gonna end up having to do is just kill this Lulu, because if I walk past the Lulu and I walk back to here, I'm gonna be at less than half life at least, and they're gonna kill me. If I don't kill the Lulu, she stops my recall. So all I can do is kill the Lulu. I do kill the Lulu. My Fizz actually gets 2 kills. He almost defends the base, but the Nexus had gotten so low at that point that LeBlanc's gonna be able to finish it off, and we're gonna lose the game. So overall, what I did run this game for the complete summary is, 1, I built kind of poorly for how I played. I built to have a lot of early game pressure, and then I farmed way too much, so I didn't abuse my early game pressure. 2, I ganked top a lot, and while those ganks did work out very well, I should have just been bot. Honestly, I should have just been bot this whole game. My Twitch had an early lead, and if he had snowballed, we would have definitely been fine with Fizz not doing so well. And Nasus was ahead after 1 gank, so I should have ganked top the 1 time, then been bot for pretty much the rest of the game. Shouldn't have farmed so much, should have grouped more, and then near the end, once again, should just group with my team. So, that's it for this video. We are going to be bringing back Why Did I Lose? I talk about it all in the channel update, so once again, if you haven't seen that, you should go check it out. There'll probably be a link in the description, as well as the link that was early on the video. And yeah, so that's it for this gameplay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.